in the library would change to view only if I was looking from a student perspective. Does that make sense? Everybody clear on that? Okay, so let's start building out a lesson by going into the collaboration space here. Okay, so remember, collaboration space, everybody has the ability to add sections. Everybody has the ability to add pages. So yes, it could get very content heavy in here, depending on what you allow your students to do or what you don't allow them to do and they choose to do. Okay, but let's just talk about the possibilities that are here. So I'm going to add a section right now. I'm going to delete this one. We're going to do that in a minute. And I'm going to call it driver's ed, which is the course we're going to build today. Okay, so I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it driver's ed. Okay. Now remember, anybody can add to this. So I'm going to show you an example of how you might use the content library right in the middle of class. This might not be a lesson that you did in advance. It might be something you do on the fly like how I'm doing it now. Now understand that we're all working in different notebooks because we're all teachers at different schools. But if I was a teacher and you were all in my class, this would be a real-time activity and you would all have access to it at the same exact time. And the changes would be showing up in real time. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to think of, we're going to type the page, safe driving rules. Okay, and we're actually going to make a thinking map or a mind map on this page. So how we're going to do this is we're going to go to the draw ribbon. And remember, this is the area that we actually find our drawing tools. So I'm going to first insert a box like this. This is called the frame of reference. Anybody use thinking maps? Okay, so if you use thinking maps, you're super familiar with this. This is the frame of reference. And then I need a circle. We're going to make a circle map. Okay, insert my circle. And then I need a smaller circle in the middle. And the category goes in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, draw with touch means so I can use my finger because I have a touch screen device. Yeah. So I was using my mouse just then. If I want to click this, then it will recognize my finger. So in the center of this circle map, I have to put the category that we're going to be using. And the category that we're going to use, I'm going to use digital ink to write it in, is safe. Maybe I'll type. That's not very good. Delete. My digital inking skill needs improvement. We'll type. Safe driving rules. Everybody okay so far? I can make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see it. Basically, I'm giving you a review right now of all the features that we kind of went over earlier. That formatting freedom, I can move this around using the draw ribbon. And then if I want to insert a picture there to make this a little bit more aesthetically appealing, I can go to the insert. Remember, I can use that online pictures feature. And I can search in Bing for driving safe call. And I can insert this guy right here. And resize you. Right there, and he is my center category. Okay, now in essence, if this is a class notebook and I have put this in the collaboration space, what can my students do now? Yes, they could delete it, but I could see if they did did that by going to revision history, and I can pull up the past page, because my page will save. Okay, so I can pull up previous versions of the page by going to the history tab. If they're not malicious, what else could they do? They can start typing on it. Okay, they can put in rules for safe driving. They can just go here and be like, stop at stop signs. Recommended. Yeah. Okay, they can start filling this out, and I've created like an interactive whiteboard without having one. And everybody on every device can start responding in real time. They can use the draw tab. Okay, they can start inking on it. They can draw the stoplight. Green at the top, right? Green and yellow. Red. Is red at the top?
Yeah.
Oh God. Red. Green. Is that right? Is that a question on an intelligence scale? Okay. And they can respond by choice, right? In many different ways. They could also start inserting what? Video clips. They can start inserting audio. They can start inserting a web clip. They can start responding in any way that they see fit when you open it up to them like this. Okay? And this is just a simple thinking map or brain map or mind map or whatever you want to call it. But I didn't have to do anything, which is the point here, to open it up to them. I just said, hey, let's collaborate. Let's see what you already know about the topic that we're about to start. Right? Make sense? Okay? Any questions about opening it up like this? The better the Wi-Fi is, the quicker it will come through, but no, it should sync automatically. And if you need to tell it to sync, you can click on your notebook and tell it to sync now. But no, they're usually pretty good about not having a delay. I'm in California, my colleagues are in New Jersey, and they'll be like, I just put it in the notebook, and it's like instant. Okay, question?
Is there a way, if they've started writing on top of each other, for it just to sort out, or do they have to physically do it?
Say that again?
So if you choose the exact spot that I choose and we both write at the same time, they end up on top of each other?
If you happen to do it at the exact same time, they would end up on top of each other. But usually the cursor will kind of like fight if you're doing that. They kind of won't let you.
Won't that overlap though?
Yeah, if you did it at the exact same time, it would overlap. But usually, like I'm saying, if I try to put it at the exact same spot you try to put it, you'll notice the cursor kind of like fight you. And so it will kind of naturally move over. But if you happen to do it at the same time, it would overlap.
Okay, but there's no make it look nice button.
No, there's no, not yet. But we'll work on the make it look nice button. Yeah. Other questions on this collaborative feature? Okay, let's think, yes.
So is there a space that you can look at individual references so we know for certain people in the collaborative space other than the green tab at the top? In other words, is there some way on that screen that I know I'm in collaborative space aside from where it says using collaborative space?
Collaboration space right here, under the name of your notebook.
Okay, that's what.
Yeah, that's the area. And this will either say collaboration space, content library, or the name of someone's notebook. Okay, right under there. Yeah, so if you took out this tab, it would be hard to tell if you didn't know that was there. Okay, everybody good? All right, let's add a page. Let's think of this. So we're still thinking of our driver's ed exam, or our driver's ed course. Let's say this page, let's pass the test. Okay, so directions. That's right, if you're taking driver's ed, the goal is to pass the driver's test. Make this bigger so you can see it. And you can use this for anything, it's just another idea of what you can do.
Should we pause this collaboration?
No, you can't pause the collaboration. But you could grab her computer or put her in timeout or something. What you do in that instance is use your authority as the teacher. Okay, so in this instance, we're going to kind of create a collaborative page where we're going to compile resources to work together as students and staff. So as you come across resources, for the driver's test, gosh, I'm getting tired. Be sure to add them to this section. Okay? So then we could be more specific about what's going on here. So now we're going to just insert a table. And let's make it 3 by, I don't know, just to the bottom of this page, and you'll see what we're doing here. So we'll say, helps you with. And maybe they can describe what it is exactly this resource is going to help them with. And then here's the resource. It's going to go here, and then added by. Okay? So maybe this first couple I would add as the teacher to model for them how they're supposed to put the resources in, right? So this is going to be maybe practice driver's test. Practice, should I make this bigger? You guys have trouble seeing it? A little larger for you. Okay, so we're going to make a column for what it's going to help them with, what the resource is, and then who added it. So their colleagues or peers or whatever can get some credit for it. So we're going to add some practice tests. So maybe I have some practice tests that I can stick in there for them, or maybe I'm going to find them online. Let's try finding them online so we can practice the screen flipping tool again. Remember how to do that? Okay. So first I go to my web browser, which is Internet Explorer. Okay, go into Internet Explorer, and let's all look for the exact same thing. That worked good last time. Okay, so look for practice driving test, but use your own unique search words. I'll look for one in California. Okay, so here's some DMV sample tests. 100% free. Okay, so I'm going to select that. Maybe this looks like a good research for them. So then I would go back to OneNote. Make sure that my cursor is in the right spot. Insert. Screen clipping. Navigates me straight back. I'm just going to clip a little portion of it to give them a taste of it. And there it is right in my table. I might need to do some resizing there. I can just drag my table out. And then I can say added by Ms. Davis. Gotta get my credit where credit is due. Okay, I can add something else here. Maybe this helps you with driving an automatic car. The beginner. Okay, and this is one of the files I think that's in your OneDrive area. If you wanted to attach it, I could choose either file printout or I could just attach the file. So I could just go file attachment. I've saved it to the desktop here. But I can just insert a PDF, drive an automatic car, attach the file, and now anybody that needs that resource has access to it. And this is just encouraging students to help one another. This is let's study for the science test. Let's learn the periodic table of elements. Let's whatever it is. And hey, this is good. Hey, this helps me study for this. Hey, this helps with this. They do that already. Have you guys seen this app? Have you seen this? Insert the link. This encourages them to help one another. So this is a good use for the collaboration. Okay? A couple of other things that I want to point out that you could do is using it for group work. So you will have groups working on, I said the U.S. history, estates or something. So you have 5 different groups in your classroom, right? And you have 5 groups working on this, working on this, working on this. You can give them each a section to work in. And you might want them to see what one another are doing, and so that's fine. So I can make 5 sections. This section is studying Georgia, this section is doing Tennessee, and the lucky people are doing California, and so on and so forth. Okay? Or if I don't want everybody to see what's happening, what could I do? Oh, no idea.
Content.
What?
Content library.
Go put it in the content library, then copy it over, close. And the other idea is if I want it to be in the collaboration space. Getting close, I will help you. Password protect. Very good. But remember, why is that scary?
Password.
Yeah, if you lose the password, there's no way to get it back. Not even Helen can help you. Okay? So make sure you, as the teacher, write the passwords down and don't only give it to Jill or whatever, because if Jill loses it, her group is going to be very upset. Okay, so I can do this. I make a section like this, and this section is for, like I said, this is the California section group, and this section is for the people that are doing Philly, and this is for the group that is doing Colorado. Okay? And then I come over here, and when I have all of these options, if I right-click it, all the way at the bottom is password protect this section, right? So if I select this, everybody kind of nervous. Girl, I'm just watching this part. Okay, if I select password protect this section, I come over here and I can set the password for it. So I set the password and I can make, Password, yeah, super secure. Or if you want to intensify a password 1, 2, 3, or password with the @ sign. Yeah, getting tricky. Okay, so password. Very tricky. Okay, enter it again. Caution, it says, if you lose or forget the password, OneNote cannot recover your data. Remember that passwords are case sensitive. So it gives you a fair warning here, kind of like that. Are you sure you want to do this thing? Okay, and then you say, okay. So now it is password protected. So now in the shared notebook or in the collaboration space, not everybody's going to be able to see this work except the 5 students that I give the password to or whatever. Now, could they leak it to their friends or whatever? Yes, but it's the same as handing only 5 students a piece of paper and then having them show it to the 6th person. Yes, I mean, what are you going to do? But it's better than just having it open if you want to try to solidify. So now I can have group work in the collaboration space without having to do that whole like, okay, I shared this area with you, and I shared this area with you, and I shared this with you through OneDrive. It's just more simple. Okay? All right. So if I want to unpassword protect it, I go through the same process. Go to password protect this section. It opens it up, and then I can remove the password when I'm done. I have to remember the password, put it in, and voila, it's open again. Okay? Any questions about using that area? Are we good? Perfect. Any questions? Okay, so to get out of there, I'm going to get the little back arrow. And now I'm going to go into the content library. Remember the content library, this is where I start making assignments. I can add as many sections as I want. I can add as many pages as I want. Can the students do that? No, they cannot. Okay, so I'm going to add a section. Let's delete this. It's called assignments. And then we'll make a page. Okay, we'll call this traffic sign. Okay, and we'll just start with some basic directions. Make it bigger so you can see it. Oops. Okay, directions. A little large. Okay, so complete the following tasks. In order. Okay? Now, why did I tell them to complete the following tasks? What tool might I choose to do? The check boxes. Okay, so the first thing could be, we're really going to practice that screen flipping tool. Read, oops, so small. Read the following article. Task 1. Task 2. Respond to the questions. Task 2, 3. Complete the quiz. If I highlight them all, I can apply that tag. Super simple. Ready, okay? Got it? All right, now I have the ever-going page, so I can just keep putting this stuff on the exact same page. So, keep practicing the screen flipping. This is when kids want to make sure you're good at it. This is something that you'll use a lot. Let's find the article, stick it in here. Article about safe driving. All right, here we go. Internet Explorer. Safe driving 14. Find the article. Yeah, they're becoming powdery. They're white. Yeah. Okay. And I go back to OneNote. Insert. This time I'm not putting it in the table or anything, I'm just flipping it on the page. Screen clipping. And I'm going to insert this little part right there. Okay? The nice thing is I don't have to clutter the page up with the entire article, and the student can just click on the link and go back to where the article is. So this might be a dissertation that I need them to read, and they're not going to freak out about it until they get home to do their homework. They're just like, read the article, okay. And it might be very, very long. Okay, fake them out a little bit. Okay? Then I can just add my questions down here that follow. Okay, so maybe now I want to insert a table. Why would I want to insert the table now? So the what? Give them a space to answer as well, exactly. Because if I just answered the questions, where are they going to respond? Yeah, it gets into that. They could respond anywhere, and they could be at the end of the page, add a page. I don't really know what they're going to do. So you want to kind of think ahead. Okay, I'm going to put it in a table, and I'm either going to put question, answer, or question, table underneath for them to answer. You want to be very clear in where you want the answer to show up. Because OneNote does give you all that formatting freedom, you want to sometimes be like, okay, this is exactly where I want it to look like. Because if you're doing this 80 times, you want to be sure how things are going to appear, right? Okay, so I would go insert table. We'll just give them 2 questions. So 2 responses right next to it. So the first question would be, I'll make it standard to be. So maybe question 1 is, do you feel you are a safe driver? Or not, safe or not. Okay, or not. Question number 2, have you ever made an unsafe choice? How could you make a better choice in the future? And then they know now that they have that table right next to them, and they have an area to respond. Now the third thing I asked them to do is to complete the quiz. Now the quiz is going to be easy in this case. It's just matching traffic signs. And your quiz is usually probably easy too if it's like an at-home thing. It's like a check for understanding. Maybe they're doing it in class, right? So what would be the easiest way for me to get the quiz in there that we learned about? I could use a screen clipping if it was from the internet. What else could I do? What's that? Yeah, the print feature, right? File, insert, printout. Because if I insert the printout of it, then how can they complete the quiz? Yeah, using digital inking. They can just ink right over the top of it. I can just glance. Maybe I'm not even going to grade it. Maybe I'm just going to look through real quick and see, okay, did they get it? Maybe it's just a couple questions. Or if I want to, I can also attach the file. And when they move it to their personal notebook, which I will show you how to do in a minute, everyone has their own copy of it in the file as well. So, and they can complete it in Word or whatever it is too. Because remember, when we move things in OneNote, it makes separate copies. So it doesn't matter if I insert the printout or insert the file, everyone would have their own version of it. Is that clear? Okay. So in this case, I'm going to insert the printout to make it easy. So I'm going to insert file printout, and that is, this is in OneDrive if you care to insert if you can. This is the pretest traffic signs. So I'm just going to stick it in there. It's a Word file, so I could have chose to insert it as a normal Word file if I wanted, but in this case, it's just matching the traffic signs to their correct sign. And if anyone's driver's license is expiring soon and you want to try it, I have the answer to email. Okay, and now they can complete this using digital inking, or they could open it. I could have attached it, and they could open it in Word if they wanted to. But this looks like a pretty easy thing to do with digital ink, right? Ink right over top. Oops, I entered it in the wrong area. Yours go in the wrong area too? Why? It doesn't move it. Why is it doing that? I gotta drag it around down here. We said in this order. Move this up. Up. Work a little bit here. Okay. And move you up this way. Okay, now before I finish, I have a few students in my class who have an IDP. Now it's very hard for them to read the directions, so I'm just going to add an audio direction to this. So if they want to listen to me give them the directions, they can, but they don't have to. So on this page, I'm going to add audio directions. know who they are, and notebook it and listen to it. And my students that don't, do you think they're going to connect to them to listen to it? They might, and it might help them. And do I care if they do? Absolutely not. And the people that really don't listen to me in the first place, probably not going to listen to it. But if they're good at it, or if they were tuned out and not listening to me in class, now they have an additional time to listen to it. They were daydreaming or whatever. So I'm going to go in here, record audio, and I'm going to say, here are your directions for this assignment. First, I want you to complete the directions in order. You are going to read the following article. That means you're going to read the article in its entirety, not the abstract. I need you to read the full article. Read the article carefully. After you've read the article, then you're going to respond to the following questions. Now, when you respond to the following questions, please do not use one-word responses. At least, please write and complete sentences. You are in the 7th grade, you should be writing in full paragraphs. Finally, after you are done, please complete the following quiz. This is just a free test, so if you do not get it right, don't freak out. It doesn't mean you're going to fail your driver's test. After we go over it, if you still get it wrong after the 4th or 5th attempt, then I would start panicking. Whatever you want to say. Okay. All right, so we're going to come down here, and now they have the option, and they can play this back if it's going to assist them. Okay? So, I'm done. I've created my assignment. I might have many of them. I might have a few, whatever. This might just be how I start putting my assignments in. It just might be by date. And when something populates, my students know they got to do it. Okay? So now, we're going to switch perspectives again and see what a student would do and how they're going to get it. Okay? So, student comes in, they participate in the lesson, they do the brainstorming activity. Now they see, okay, there's a lesson in the content library. I've got to get it into my notebook and I've got to do it, right? All right, so student 1 comes in there. In my case, student 1 is, I'm going to use arrow out, Krista. So, Krista comes in, she sees content library, got an assignment in it. Assignment is called traffic signs. Ready for the process? She comes over here to the page that says traffic signs. She right-clicks it. And she presses copy. Everybody see that? Okay. Traffic signs. Right-click. Copy. Everybody got it? Back arrow out of the content library. I'm Krista, so I'm going into my personal notebook. My teacher told me to put that handout that assignment into the quizzes tab, wherever my teacher directed me to put it. Go into the quizzes area, come over to this section, right click again, paste. There's my assignment. Okay, there's an untitled page on top of it. If that's not supposed to be here, I can right click and delete it. So now traffic signs is the first assignment in my quizzes section. Everybody get that? And now, since I moved it from the content library where it was only for me, it's in my personal notebook now. Now I am free to start doing my assignment. Okay, read the following article, go to the hyperlink, I read it, I can check it off. Oh, I missed what she said next. I can go to this play. Do I have volume moved up? Okay, well, I heard what she said. Yeah, okay, on to the next. Okay, I can listen to the verbal directions. I can go down here. I can start answering this. Yes, I am safe. And I can start answering doing my assignment. I can go over here to the draw ribbon. Use my thinking. Which sign means no parking? Okay, and start filling it in. And how the process works here? Yeah. How we doing? Questions on the process of getting an assignment, building it in the content library, student comes in, picks it up, moves it over there. Yeah.
Could you have put that assignment yourself as the teacher in everyone's
And put it there?
quizzes tab? Could you have done that as a teacher, put it in everyone's quizzes tab?
Yes, I could.
Do you have to do it individually or one shot deal?
Individually.
Unless you do it at the beginning.
Unless what?
You do it at the beginning.
Well, in the beginning,
Content.
you can't make tabs, you can't insert assignments and send them out.
You can't put content with
You can't, you can sort. I'm a math teacher, she put all her worksheets in and then I think she copied it all out. Before she made the notes. I think.
I don't know that I'm aware of, unless there's something that I'm not aware of. Do the individual assignments populate there automatically? No. I'm saying the kid goes into their notebook and puts it in.
Oh, by copying.
By copy. Yeah, you put it in the content library and they pick it up and put it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That seems like a feature that I would think that they would want to add.
that seems like a feature I think they would want to add too.
People I talked to at Microsoft said they were working on that.
I don't do the admin.
Yeah,
I do the teaching. Once they add it, I teach you how to use it when they do it.
What was the question?
Can they make content auto-populate in the student sections? They said that they want to.
It's an interesting. I've actually, if you come by the booth this week, they're rolling out a new product. Hopefully by this fall, called the class dashboard that will allow us to do a lot of auto-populating.
Yeah, I told you, and I'll teach you how to do that. Once they
Has notebooks embedded within that.
But the students can also automate your content, right, to copy it into their section. In my classroom, that was what I call auto-populating. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, go to this page. You on it? Yep. Right click, got it. Copy, got it. Paste. Auto-populate.
Yeah, that's what I just showed them.
With quizzes,
Yeah,
if you put a quiz in, can they just share it with each other before the next period?
like if they physically show them their screen, I suppose, but students can't.
Put it into an email.
Well, wait a second, what are you asking?
So like, if you do a quiz and you want to use this quizzes tab,
Okay,
so you say, open the quizzes tab, here's the quiz. So say this is a quiz. They
okay,
have to copy this into their private note.
yes,
Can't they like, they can just do a screenshot and give it to everyone.
In period
You
one,
can't,
and
I
period
mean-
5, everything will already be.
already seen what the questions are to the quiz. I suppose they could do that no differently than if you give a first period quiz and they get to take it home that day and then
No,
they're
you
not
don't,
out with
but you
paper.
don't do quizzes,
I
I
mean-
mean, everyone's speaking.
Well, then, and I guess I don't know. It's the same, maybe not the best tool for quizzes, because it's sensitive information. This is also in the structure of a free quiz. I wouldn't be concerned about something in this example. So, yeah, same thing as someone sharing something or whatever. They can't access their own notebook, and they can't see other students'
Well,
notebooks.
if you put the quiz in the night before, you go in class, you figure out the quiz, they couldn't have gone in and seen it the night before.
In the content library, yeah, if you put it in the night
So
before.
what is Microsoft thinking when they do quizzes tab?
They're thinking
There-
quiz for cheating is not.
Well, I guess, yeah,
Wait,
that's.
pre-assessment. That's where class notebooks will come in. Class notebook, you can assign that quiz, put the time and date on it, it becomes available then.
Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's.
You can time, you can make it not open until it's.
Yeah, it integrates with OneNote, but not inside.
Also, you have to remember that not everybody that uses this project has multiple classes. There's also elementary teachers who, if you teach third grade and you have a class notebook, you only have one group of kids all day. So if you put the quiz in there, and third grade takes it, and I only have 30 kids, life is over, like it's done, it's moved on. So it's not an issue for everybody. So you have to be very versatile with the teachers, and if something doesn't work for you, by all means, just use that aspect of it. Yeah.
You can also pass it.
That's what that's up and coming. Yeah. Other
Looking down the
questions?
list to see what I
The teacher can see her kids' work.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
The teacher can see the kids' work.
Yes,
And the kids can't see each other, and the kids share with other kids.
they can't share with other kids within that system, within the class notebook, no.
And anything that's in their own notebook, can they share sections?
They really have to do a lot of workarounds, but I'm sure they could figure something out, but it's not built for them to easily share. But could they figure out a way? Probably so. Just like all of you guys were like, well, what if we have this piece, if we have that piece, if we do this? Yes, I mean, it's impossible for me to say they can't get information from one piece to another, because the kids that we have now are growing up in the technology age, and we teach them, right? We come in and we're like, we're gonna collaborate, and then you guys are like, how do we stop them? So, so I don't know. So, but it's built for them to not be able to see one another's notebooks, if that makes sense. Okay? All right. Any other questions about how to do this part of it? All right. So let's switch ideas again, and let's think of that grading aspect of it, okay? So we talked a little bit about, before we had a break, how we could kind of eliminate the grading process. So maybe when they come out with this new release and we can auto-populate faster and timestamp things better, there is a timestamp feature already in here. If I go to the home ribbon, right here, I can timestamp already. So, insert ribbon, date, time, and time and date. So if I looked at this at a certain time, I could hit date, time, and it will mark it. Okay, that's already there. And I already showed you how if I right-click on something, it will show me exactly when someone did something. So if I highlight this and right-click on it, I can see exactly what time something was there already. There's an automatic timestamp for when content is inserted and by whom it was inserted. Okay, so that feature is there already. So they can't be like, no, I did it at 1:30. I'm like, I believe you did it at 2:12. Okay, so that feature is already there. But let's talk about how we would grade it. We talked about how the time, there really doesn't need to be that turn-in process anymore because you have automatic access to their work. So if you say something is due on August 10th, they don't have to put it anywhere at August 10th. They just need to complete it by August 10th at whatever time you said. And you just simply go into their notebook and you see if it's there. Now, if you have some grading thing that you do or you want to make sure they didn't change their grade that you wrote on there, then a lot of teachers have like a master notebook and they screenshot the grade or they screenshot it and they just put it in their master grade notebook. So the student isn't like, but you wrote A+, and you're like, I wrote F. Okay, so you have proof in another notebook of exactly what you did. So we could trace it through revision history, but if you just want to keep it somewhere else, that's a great idea too. Just, backing yourself up. Make sense? All right, well, let's talk about the ways that you could actually provide student feedback by just going into your notebook when it's due. Make sense? Okay, that audio feature that we've been talking about is a really, really powerful tool for assessing. So, if Krista's done, she went in here, she read her article, and she is completely finished. This is her final work. It was due, and now I've gone in there and I'm going to grade her work now. There's no turn-in process. I just simply go in her folder and start grading. I can do multiple things. I take myself in here to the Draw tab, and if I am a fan of the red pen, fear not, it's still here for you. Okay? I can go in here. I don't need any privileges or anything, and I just start marking up her work if I want. So I just get out my little red pen, and I just start circling this thing, and it's like, I just go crazy on her work. And I go here, and I can be like, what is going on? I'd be like, it's not done. I just start marking it up. This, and I'd be like, mark, it's done. And I go crazy on it like you guys do with your red pen if you want to. Okay? And you can do your normal feedback. You can do like sad face, pointed, whatever you need to do to put greater feedback on your work. Okay? I can do all of these things. Or, if I want to, and I'm just hitting Control Z to back up right now. I'm mean for Krista. Alright, so now if I want to go forward and try this again, before I start marking up her work, I'm going to actually turn on the audio. Okay? Now when I turn on the audio feature, I'm going to use the audio paired with the digital winking, and I'm going to talk to Krista about how disappointed I am with her and how she didn't complete the assignment while I mark up her work. And it's going to provide her with much more feedback than me just drawing those question marks and things. Okay? And this is how I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to start over here, and I'm going to go Insert, Audio. The feedback is going to go right there. And I'm going to say, Krista, I see that you've marked off this one over here, but it looks like you didn't complete this task or this task. You had about 3 weeks. I'm not sure what has happened here. I'm really worried that you're never going to get your driver's license. I come down here and I can see that I'm really glad that you're a safe driver. That pleases me. But the ellipses really don't take the place of a full paragraph. So I'm going to need you to redo this in paragraph form. And have you ever made unsafe choices? I need you to tell me about an instance where you might have and what you could do better in the future. Please fill that in. And since you're late, this is now going to turn into a 3-paragraph response. And that is going to be due in 1 week. Okay, that's a bummer. All right, so we're going to come down here. And gosh, you did not complete the pre-test. Oh, Krista, that makes me very unhappy with you. So if you could please turn this in as soon as possible, and we'll see what we can do about remediation on that aspect of it. Okay.
This is normal bogey.
Yeah. Okay. So we go over here and we can hit stop. Okay, so now all of that feedback is going to be associated with it. And if Krista's mom does call me, it's fine because I'm going to email her this assignment as well.
There you go.
Yes. And I'll show you how to do that too. Okay, so we're going to go over here, and now when Krista goes to play this back, all of those marks that I made actually have mini audio associated with it. So if I went for a long period of silence, like if I was doing an essay and didn't say anything in between, and it took me like a half an hour to grade it, Krista wouldn't have to listen to me go, well done, great thesis. Nothing for 20 minutes. Ooh, we'll spelling error here, nothing for 5 minutes. She will just have to listen to the area that my pen actually touched the paper and I said something. Because it's going to have a little mini play bar in those areas. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me show you. When I come over here to the audio, see how there's the play bar here? That tiny one? You can see that when I hover over, there's the play bar there. Every time I come to the ink, hopefully it's showing up. Go up, please. Let's play the entirety. Do you hear it? See how it's showing my ink associated with it? This is where I was chalking at each piece. Okay, it should be highlighting as I'm going. My inky might be off, and this is a setting that I can actually set. I'm sorry you guys can't hear the audio. It's too low. it's trying to pair it, I can go into the settings and say delay a couple of seconds. So when I'm talking and when I'm writing, it's actually pairing it at exactly the same time. Now you see that little arrow that's coming up? See that? If I want to click and hear only what I said when I was right there, I just click that mini playback right there, and I can hear only what I said when I'm doing the frown face. Okay, so I don't have to listen to all the details right there. I can listen to only that piece of the audio. So again, that comes in really handy when I'm grading that giant essay. And the thesis, I wrote something, circled the thesis or whatever. Okay, well, what did my teacher want me to fix it here? Or what positive comment did she have there? Or whatever it is. Okay, so go ahead and try this feature of the audio because it's really strong for grading, and I'll come around and see if anybody needs any help with it, okay? So you're just going to turn it on, go to the draw tab, select your pen, start inking, and talk through the feedback. How we doing? Are you stuck online? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I have to go between the two, and I have my old account.
Okay.
My new account. So I was trying to share it with my other account, and I can't sign in with it. So I was just taking notes so I can know how to play.
Okay, all right. Any questions?
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
You were just
Looks great.
saying in the settings, when playing body rewind from the certain paragraph following the second.
Yes.
What is that?
That's the one. So like if it's not meeting up exactly,
Okay.
and you're like, oh, I need a little bit longer delay, because usually you write and you're talking still, and so you need it to delay a little bit. So you figure out like how long of a delay you need according to your writing, and that's what this is referring to.
Okay, so it's like 5 is the default.
5 is the default, and if you write faster or talk faster, you just have to adjust that so it meets up with your writing.
And so you would do that on a per comment basis?
It lets you get doing it a lot. It kind of stays pretty like true to suit. I'm writing on his computer, so the setting is different than on mine. You know what I mean? But once you do it a lot, people are fast writers or they're slow writers. So they're like, ooh, or they're like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? So you get your certain style and it starts matching up. Okay. How are we doing with the audio? Anybody have a question? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can see
What kind of scroll is this?
I can see when it's
So apparently, recording as I go is not capturing these.
So even though they're related, it would give them knowledge when you go to hit different things. I knew nothing else. So I can make the entire
Yeah.
the easiest way is you have to understand why writing especially if they're typing and they wrote something that they're just thinking, it's hard to yeah, how they do yeah, how they
really just trying to.
Right, yes. My interviews are you using Internet Explorer? Chrome, it's only from the Internet Explorer, so if you don't know that, if you're not getting it with Internet Explorer, that's just a little problem.
It's like that, and I thought so.
Okay. Okay.
Can I ask a question? Yeah. Is there any way of the student notifying the teacher when they've submitted their work?
That's coming in the new improvement that Helen was talking about. That's not in here right now.
And so she said, what, November?
Mhm. Yeah.
Where they were.
Okay, anybody have any trouble with the audio? Everybody good with that?
Like I'm creating in here.
A couple questions that people have were, can you see the drawing? If we go into history, we can always see who did it. We can search by author or recent edits. So I can see who did what, when, okay? And I can see what changes that they did. But if you're only using inking, I would recommend have your students stick that timestamp on there if you just want to quickly see when they did something. That's the easiest way to do it. And that was in the insert tab, insert date and time. Yeah.
That, find who did what when. That feature. Version or.
It, revision history in the cloud. Helen, is that in the cloud? Revision history?
No,
Just the desktop version. Close or erase? Erase from OneDrive. So that gives you the copy. Yeah, it should be able to delete it from OneDrive and close it from OneDrive.
I mean, if it's in the cloud, then it should all sync up.
Yeah, OneDrive. All right, how are we doing
So if
on
they do
that?
it
Any other
desktop,
questions
once they get
there?
on the internet, it's gonna sync up.
Everybody able to provide some feedback? With the
This
audio.
would be on a cloud-based
Good?
notebook.
Okay, so let's do a couple other things.
Okay.
So if I come out of here and I'm able to do that, remember we want to make sure that we're able to time and date stamp and do all of those different things. Let's go back to the content library, and I just want to point out a couple of things for the content library while we're in. So in the content library, if I've added a assignment and I understand how to get the assignment to the students, and I understand kind of the grading process that I can use, let's talk about templates for student use. Okay, so we talked about templates earlier, and while we still have a little bit of time, I want to talk about getting templates out to students, because this is something else that you're probably going to want to use all of the time. So we use templates, and we want our students to use templates. So you might want to add a section in your class notebook right here and call it templates. Now in this area, this is where your students are going to go to grab templates for whatever you want them to do. And then they're still going to have to go through that process that we went through earlier to make their sections start at a default template or whatever it is. But if you always want them to use a certain template for notes, don't go make them all try to look like the same and walk them through trying to set up the page the same. You make the template and you put it in the content library, and then you have them all grab it. Okay? Now this might be as simple as Cornell notes with a line. If you want them all to have Cornell notes with a line, put it here. Cornell notes, if you're not familiar with it, they're just this. We can use the drawing. Okay, we'll call it Cornell notes. Let's see if you type. Cornell notes. Okay, and all it is, right, is the line like this with the bottom one. Okay, you guys know this? Okay, now this isn't a very good template because it's hand drawn and it's wiggly. So if I wanted to try again, add a page, and what could I use instead? The line tools. Okay, so I can come here, make my line. That's a little straighter. And then get another one and put it across like this. Okay. Now if I want to give my students a little bit more visual for what they should be putting in their Cornell notes, I can start adding some things. Tags are nice for students. So I can come over here to the home area and I can remind them that questions go over here. And also if they search it, they search the tags, questions will come up. I could also use the definition tag and remind them that definitions go there. Definitions go in this area of Cornell notes. And what else? Main points. Main points go here too. I don't think this line's supposed to cross all the way down. Just done that. Alright. Okay, this area is for notes. Also for mind maps. And it's also for timelines. So if I want to give them a little example of ways that they can add this, maybe I want to give them a little picture. So I can insert a photo of what notes might look like by using my online pictures area. Not a music note. Find something. Okay, so they might just look like that. That right there. Okay, might just look something like this. Might look more like a mind map. Like this. Or it might look something like a timeline. This is just helping them by giving them some visuals, right? Okay, for the timeline. Right, and I'm putting it right here on the template. And when they copy this template over, what can they do if they don't want the visuals? Delete them. What can the kid do that needs them? Blow them up. Be like, what is the timeline? Let me see that. Okay, so it's helpful to put it on there for them. Down here on Cornell notes, what are you supposed to put here? Anybody use Cornell notes anymore? Summary. Okay, and the important stuff. So I'm going to tag this as important. This is the summary. Summarize what you learned in 2 to 3 sentences. Okay. So now, I just basically made this from scratch. But if my kids like Cornell Notes and they want to utilize this, I'm going to save it in the content library. Now, I could just save it, or if it's something I want to use all the time, I can make it a template. I don't really have to go through the process of making a template for myself, because my students would have to do that on their end if they want to use it. Okay, because me making it a template and defaulting it as a section template isn't going to help them in their personal notebook. So let's go through the steps again of making it a template so we remember. I would go insert, page templates to open the area. And then if I like what I just made right here, I can go down to the bottom right here, save current page as a template. And I can call this my Cornell Notes. Save. Okay, so now if I want to again, I don't have to keep making it or copying it. I can just say use template Cornell Notes. Make sense? But if Krista or Teresa or somebody likes it and wants to use it, they can grab it from the content library because this is helpful to them. Yeah. How I saved it to a template? Sure. I open this from the Insert tab. I open Page Templates right here. And then once I click on this area opens. And right down at the very bottom is this option, Save Current Page as Template. And then if I create a new page and I want to use the Cornell page template that I just made, when I open Page Templates, I would go here, Page Templates. And then it saves right here under My Templates. So instead of selecting academic, blank, or business like we were looking at earlier, I would go down here to My Templates, and then I find my Cornell Notes template. There it is, and I can use it again. That makes sense? So my student would kind of have to do this same process. So if my student is logged in, it's like, hey, I want to use that Cornell Notes template. They come over here, and they're going to copy it. Copy. Okay, Krista's going to go into her notebook. She's going to go into her class notes area, and she's going to go paste. Now this is her notebook, her part of the class notebook. So is this available as a template yet to her? No. But she has it in her notebook now. So what does she have to do? Save it as a template. So now she goes templates, save current page as templates, and she could even make this the default temp page for that section of her notes if she wanted to. That makes sense? Okay? And it's just helpful for your students. And you can have several of them and let them use them, not require it or require it, whatever. But putting several things in a template area allows them choice, helps them organize. And like I said, if they don't want the visuals there, they can take them out. Or if they need to look at them, they can upload them. It's just a really helpful tool using those templates. Any questions about this? Yes.
The students have access, it has to go to the content.
You could put it in the collaboration space, but you risk having them edit it. Okay, everybody has access to collaboration space, but they can change it then. If you want to have access to it and remain unchanged, content library.
You need another tab. You need to use the page.
I need another tab, a section, because in my mind I'm going to have lots of templates. But if I just was going to intermingle it together with my homework assignments and things, I could have just made a page. Okay? Other questions about using templates? Doing okay? We're okay. All right, guys. Okay, so let's back out of here. Okay, so what I'd like to do is spend the next just couple of minutes. The plan was to really have time to take you into the Microsoft Educator Network, and we spent a lot of time making sure that you're going to become power users of OneNote and that you understand how to use the OneNote class notebook. So how are we feeling on both of those things? Good? Okay, great. So what I'd like to do is just spend a couple of minutes in the Microsoft Educator Network, because there's an area in there that we plan on going in called free tools. I want to make sure that that's not something that you miss out on, because there's some really great tools that are in there that even though I won't have time to show you at great length, if you use these tools in the content library, in the collaboration space of OneNote, then you're really going to leverage the power of Microsoft, and you're really going to be able to create dynamic lessons in OneNote, which is the ultimate goal here. So I want to show you how to access these resources in the next 15 minutes before we have to do the evaluations and things, so you at least know how to get to them. Fair enough? All right, so right now, if you could open Internet Explorer and go to theeducators.network.com. So again, we're going to go to theeducators.network.com. Might take a minute to load with everybody on the same internet. might take quite a while. Are you guys in yet? Oh, I'm last. Oh, what is that? There we go. Okay, when you go here, if you've never logged in before, you're going to need to log in and create an account. However, you don't need a new account. Whatever Office 365 account that you logged in with before, you can use that same one. Or if you have a Microsoft Live account, you can use that one as well. So just take a couple of seconds to just ask you a couple of short questions, and you need to sign up for an account very quickly. So you can come up here into the corner where it says sign in. And if you go to sign in, you can go to create a Microsoft account right there. And just log in with the Microsoft account that you already have. Your Office 365 account or your Microsoft Live account. And this should just take you about 2 minutes.
And then sign in.
We're on safe for everybody to get in. Everybody in, okay? Just give everybody a couple seconds to get in there. Just ask you a couple questions, nothing too much. Not yet. Everybody in okay? A couple more seconds. Some of you are in. Okay, there is a wealth of resources that are available to you in this site. There is professional development opportunities. There is an entire community that you can participate in. There are special opportunities. If you are interested in the special opportunities, you're using Microsoft in your classroom, you're going to be that power user of OneNote, and you're starting to create dynamic lessons in your classroom. Microsoft wants to hear about it. If you are doing all of these great things, there are special opportunities. You can fly to great destinations and teach other people about Microsoft. All sorts of cool things available on this site. There's also tutorials that you can stay up to date. And there's another site that I will take you to right before we're done as well, OneNote in Education. One great thing that I want to point out to you is in this area called resources. Everybody see it on the far left-hand side? Okay, in the area called resources, the very top thing is called free tools. Everyone see that there? Go ahead and click on free tools. And give it a moment to load. Okay, when we get to this area called free tools, Microsoft has so graciously put so many resources in this area. When you start looking into the free tools section, you will be amazed at what is here. Now, when you find things in this area, make sure that you go to them, or when you tell your colleagues about it, make sure you go to these resources the way that I just showed you. Because many of the things that are in this free tools area are only free if you access them the way that I I just showed you. If you access them through Bing or another way, you're not going to have free access to them. Okay, now, what I want to make clear is that it's when you combine these free tools with that OneNote class notebook, putting them into the collaboration space, creating lessons with them in the content library, that your lessons can really come to life when you start utilizing Microsoft in the classroom. So that's why I'm showing these to you right now at the end of a OneNote session, because I want to empower you with new tools to put into your class notebook. Okay? So, some of them that are really great are right at the top here, which is auto collage. Okay? Has anybody ever used auto collage before? Okay? It is in here as a free tool and it is amazing. Basically, you can take photos, and we will maybe try it in a moment. I'll show you what it does. You can take photos, gather them up, and it will do this little dance with the photos, and then it pushes them into a collage, overlapping and everything. And it's amazing. It's a great story starter. It is a great introduction to a new topic. You put it in the collaboration space, you use tags over the top of it, and you have a new age KWL chart. Okay? You put it in the content library and you've got yourself an assignment with colorful pictures and photos. If you keep going down, there's things about things that are awesome. Lots and lots and lots of great resources. Fresh paint. Is anyone responsible for teaching art? Okay, if you're responsible for teaching art, that is a phenomenal resource, and you'll need to make sure that you open it up and explore it. Even if you're not, and you are able to incorporate that as a resource into your classroom, it's excellent. A lot of us don't teach art anymore because it takes 30 minutes to get all the supplies out, another 30 minutes to explain what to do, and 2 hours to explain what not to do with the stuff. So it's just too hard, okay? With Fresh Paint, it's an amazing experience. It uses watercolors, it uses at the canvas, uses pastels, all of these different things, and it's very, very, very realistic. Okay, so that is available to you. The math worksheet generator, anybody teach math? Nobody teaches math in here? One person teaches math? Okay, you put in one problem and it spits out 10 or 15 or 20 exactly like it. Super simple. So I'll give you a second to just scroll through and see all of the different things that are available for you for free through this area. And then I'm going to show you an example of auto.
What was the math one called?
Math worksheet generator right there. The green one?
Yeah, I got it. So the idea is for us to take this back and share it with our teachers so they can use it?
Oh, sure. Anyone that is part of the Microsoft community has access to this, absolutely.
And if you, a lot of these free tools, not all of them, they're apps, you get them from the Windows Store, but their desktop version, they're drawing pull out the files and push them out.
Can do that.
Not remotely, they can pull it, they can download the executable files, so you can image all your computers at once.
Yeah,
Like image, yeah, right. Well, some schools can't push them out remotely.
Okay, so let's look at an example, and you have this as well in the content that I have shared with you. So let's just check out an example of auto collage. I'm not going to build one for you,
Right.
because we don't have time, but I will show you an example of auto collage right here. So here is New Zealand. These are just pictures that were pulled from Bing using the Fair Use Creative Commons search. And it took about 18 seconds for me to make this. Super fast. Okay? And you'll see when you download it, basically it takes all the pictures and they come around like this in front of the student, and then they mesh and it spits them out and it goes, and then it does that to them super quickly. And for the sake of time, I'm just not showing you how to do it, but I'm showing you the final results, which is pretty amazing, right? So now I took this auto collage and I put it in the collaboration space of my OneNote class notebook. Okay? And then I used that tagging feature. And I created a few of my own tags in there. So this is just sparking you some ideas that you could do. And so everybody knows the old KWL chart, right? You get out the butcher paper and you write, what do you know? What do you want to know? What have you learned? And it's an ongoing thing you do with your students when you start a new topic, right? At best, you give them a sticky note and they come up and write it, or everyone just writes on the board, they write it on the big paper, or whatever. Okay, new age KWL chart, we're going to use tags. So everyone can go up there. Okay, what is this animal? Where is this? What is this device? What time of year of it is this? This is New Zealand that we're talking about. So we're just tagging it when we start the unit. These are the questions that I have about the unit right when we're starting. And because I put it in the collaboration space, who can participate in this? Everybody. And as we learn things, we can change the tag to pink, like I did here, and maybe we know what this location is. I know that that is Air New Zealand, or whatever it is. Oh, the sound will be right here at the end. Okay? And I can keep tagging. So this is just something that I can do by bringing in auto collage. I love how vibrant and enticing it is, rather than like a Post-it note with the things on it, right? Who wouldn't want to participate in this? And it's simple and fast for you to use using that new resource. Okay, here's an example that is in a student notebook. I think I put it in. Where are you? Student notebook example. Student notebook. Who has it? Gotta find who did the assignment. Maybe I can pull it in here for you. No one did my assignment. Find it in here. Harry Potter. Here it is. Okay? Here is a Harry Potter assignment. This is Harry Potter collage. Okay? Select 3 characters. So imagine putting this in your content library. This could be a book that you did as a class study. This could be anything, but here's just an example. Put this in your content library. Select 3 characters from the collage. Write a paragraph that describes the character's main traits. Then write a concluding paragraph explaining the relationship between the 3 characters. Okay, so now they're using this as a story starter. Or they can make their own opera collage, but this is just a few ways that it can be used. Everybody's familiar with it, much more vibrant, much better start to just write. It gives them something to do. Pictures are amazing to use if you use Bing, if you use the Creative Commons search, just some ideas of what you can do. And all of this you've learned how to sort through by using the Creative Commons, by using the collaboration space, and by using the content library. The students can copy it, put it in, and you know how to write it. So, math worksheet generator, just another idea. Remember, here's Fresh Paint. You're using the Fresh Paint as an assignment. Directions. Attention to detail is important. Work to complete the picture. Use the same style, technique, and color scheme as the artist. Be sure to save your work and attach it. Then write a response explaining how you determine what colors and tools you decided to use to complete the artwork. Okay, this is Fresh Paint, the tool that I was telling you about, the amazing art one. What's cool about this is when I save that file as a Fresh Paint file, if I put it in the notebook and the student opens it like this, it actually opens Fresh Paint. Okay, so when they click on this,